Saints linebacker Quan Alexander. You heard the man. He will play this week. Will the former LSU linebacker. More on that in a moment. The Saints opening up the season this Sunday in Jacksonville, Florida against the Green Bay Packers. And this is a gambling show, so let's update the line. This according to BetMGM. The Packers are favored in this one as of now, Musso, -4. The point total in the game is 50 points, so over, under, we don't know. We'll find out on Sunday. And in the money line, the Packers are favored -210. The Saints at plus money, +175. And this is a line that has fluctuated, Musso, for obvious reasons. The Packers have had a very entertaining offseason. That's probably an understatement. And then the Saints have had one too, to a degree. This opened with a line of Packers -1 and a point total of 59. So again, lots of movement here. And to just kind of paint the scene, still a lot of variables we should consider if you're going to be betting on this game or just watching this game. The Saints have been practicing at AT&T Stadium in Dallas for the past week due to Hurricane Ida, and Green Bay enters this game as one of the NFC favorites. Only the Bills, the Bucks, and the Chiefs have better odds in most sports books. Again, there's extenuating circumstances with the Saints here, having to do with injuries, having to do with them being away from home, but right now it's sitting at -4. You and I both seem to think that the Saints will at least keep this competitive, and this should be interesting to watch on Sunday.
I do think they'll keep it competitive. I don't know if they'll win, but I do think the Saints the moves they've made lately have me a little bit more encouraged. I feel good about Jameis Winston being your starting quarterback. I feel very good about the emergence of Marquez Callaway and the absence of Michael Thomas to go along, of course, with Alvin Kamara. I'm interested to see what Tony Jones Jr. can do now that he's made that roster, and Sean Payton really likes him kind of in that number 2 running back role. They still have one of the best offensive lines in football. The problems are on defense, but really only at a couple positions. Defensive tackles one, and outside cornerback is the other. Safety, you still feel pretty good. Linebacker, you feel good. And you brought back Quan Alexander, who, as you heard when we let off the segment, says, I'm playing for sure. Like, he's all in, man. And he thinks he's going to go out there unlimited and, just be a full go. Sean Payton has been a little bit more coy on that. So something I'm very interested there is, will there be some type of a snap count? Or is Sean Payton, as I said, just being a little coy, and you're going to see a lot of Quan Alexander? I do think they keep it close. We'll see if they can actually pull it off. Look, it was a close game last year. I'll tell you one thing, Mario, that does bother the hell out of me is that Aaron Rodgers is once again getting to dodge a home crowd at the Superdome. That is incredibly frustrating because you saw how that impacted the game last year with his ability to manipulate the snap count. Sure, there will be fans in Jacksonville, and it's a home game for the Saints, but it won't be nearly to the scale, obviously. I mean, right, and you will see him be able to utilize that snap count and manipulate the snap count once again. So hopefully the Saints are a little bit better prepared for that this time than they were last.
Yeah, and I have no way of knowing this, but just kind of reading between the tea leaves, there's actually an article by the Green Bay Gazette, I believe it is, talking about the big concentration of Green Bay fans in Florida. And obviously the Packers are one of those fan bases that have fans everywhere, but there's probably going to be a pretty decent amount of Packers fans in there, at least like 25% of the stadium, if not closer to 50. But again, we'll find out more about that as we get closer to the game. I got to give you credit for Quan Alexander because you said months ago when we started on Middle Relief that you did think he would play week 1 just based on how quickly he had been progressing, based on reading between the leaves in his social media, him wearing Saints stuff, him looking really good in these workouts, although some of them are half speed. So it's encouraging to see that he's playing, although you know how I feel about it. I kind of wish they would have waited a little bit longer just to be safe. But hey, he's playing. It's yet to be seen how much he'll play. We know Zach Barn has been playing really good there, but Quan Alexander will be a part of this game. And a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people did not think that would be possible. And as recently as a couple of weeks ago, Musso, a lot of people thought that both Deontay Harris and Marshawn Lattimore would not be playing in this game for the Saints, but there's no suspension. The legal process is still very much ongoing with both of these guys, and it looks like they're going to suit up in the black and gold on Sunday, and that's great news if you're a Saints fan.
That's really, really good news because that just bolsters your wide receiver depth even more for this game when you talk about Deontay Harris, because let's be honest, we still don't even have word if Traquan Smith's going to be able to play, if he's going to suit up and go for the New Orleans Saints. But it's Tuesday, and they have announced nothing on Deontay Harris. Now, of course, there's still time, but right now it doesn't look like it. It's really kind of cooled down on Marshawn Lattimore the last few weeks, Mario. That's been something that, while the suspension still could be coming, it's probably more likely it happens later in the year. So that with their problems at cornerback, that's something that can't be overstated, the importance of being able to have Marshawn Lattimore week one, especially going up against Aaron Rodgers when you do have the uncertainty across the field from him.
What I will say is Marshawn Lattimore needs to step up in this game way more than he did in the meeting against Green Bay last year, where Devontae Adams did not play, but Lazard went off for 146 yards. A lot of that on Marshawn Lattimore, so hopefully he brings it a little bit harder against Devontae Adams, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And as you said, Musso, we still don't know about a lot of these guys and their status ahead of the game on Sunday against the Packers for the Saints, but tomorrow we will get our first injury report in the NFL, the week one injury report, and that's good because we have no idea about the status of Adam Troutman, Traquan Smith, who you mentioned, and Peyton Turner, the Saints' first-round draft pick along the defensive line, and we didn't see any of these guys very much in the preseason. We saw a couple of series of Adam Troutman before he went down, but these guys can be huge contributors for the Saints. Adam Troutman's your starting tight end. Peyton Turner is your first-round draft pick, and it's yet to be seen if we'll see any of them on Sunday against Green Bay. So a lot of Saints fans will be waiting with great anticipation for this injury report tomorrow.
Yeah, man, I'm itching to see Peyton Turner too. I really, really want to see that kid get out there and play. We do know you won't see Nick Vannett. He's been placed on IR. Of course, Will Lutz, IR as well, and Will Clapp, for what it's worth, former LSU Tiger, on IR for the Saints. But none of those guys. So the injury report will be key. Traquan Smith is big for the same reason that Deontay Harris is big. That can just bolster your depth while you're trying to replace Michael Thomas for the first at least 6 games of the season or 5 games of the season. They have the bye week, week 6. But you need all the help you can get there. And if he's finally ready to go, I don't think he's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, injury report tomorrow will fill a lot of those holes, and we'll learn a lot. So a lot of people will be waiting anxiously for that first injury report ahead of week 1 in the NFL. Won't spend too much time on this, but the Saints did sign former Atlanta Falcon Desmond Trufant. 7 years in Atlanta with Detroit last year, was a starter for most of the season on a really bad Detroit defense. This is just another body to me. We'll see how many snaps he earns if he plays, but any cornerback Musso that's available September 7th is probably a player you shouldn't have that high hopes for.
That's probably fair, yeah. But look, it's the third Atlanta Falcon, former Atlanta Falcon, that the Saints have signed this offseason. Brian Poole, and he, of course, went down to injury. Devontae Freeman, he, of course, got cut. But, look, what is the old saying, Mario? If you can't beat them, join them. And that certainly seems what it is with the former Atlanta Falcons here.
We love to see it. Before we go to break, very quick fantasy football thought of the day. ESPN released its fantasy football wide receiver ranking. This is for PPR leagues, point per reception, and leagues where you get a point for every reception, regardless of player. And Marquez Callaway right now is graded 43rd, and SportsIllustrated.com is also not high on him, writing that Callaway saw his value go into the stratosphere in the preseason, scoring multiple touchdowns, earning a bigger role without Michael Thomas. However, he has a difficult game this week as Callaway will face Jair Alexander and the Packers. This defense allowed 13 scores and the 4th fewest points to opposing wideouts in 2020. The thing is, if the Saints are going to win this game, they're going to need a big game from Marquez Callaway. And for that reason, I'm still kind of on the fence if I'm going to put him in the game. Again, won't spend too much time on this, but if I do start Callaway in one of my leagues, I would have to sit one of either Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, or Gibson, the Washington football team running back. And I'm still very much mulling it over, Musso.